Today we're going to learn how to estimate square roots. We've already been learning about perfect square roots like the square root of 25. Now the square root of 25 means what number times itself equals 25, and that would be a 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. And if you have a square with an area of 25, they want to know what each length would be, each side length would be. So 5 times 5 is 25. So the square root of 25 is 5. Same thing as the square root of 49. If you had a square of an area and it had an area of 49, that means what is the side length? Well, it would be a 7 because 7 times 7 is 49. So the square root of 49 is 7. Okay, but sometimes it doesn't work out perfectly, like these perfect square roots. Sometimes you have one like this, the square root of 10. Now, some kids think it's 2 times 5, but it has to be the same number times the same number because it's a square root. And a square root means it makes a square. So 7 times 7 or 5 times 5. So 2 times 5 doesn't work. It's not the same number times the same number. So what we can do is we can estimate, we can figure out around about what number is it close to. Okay, here's one method. The square root of 10. Well, this number 10 is really close to the number. I'm going to count backwards and try to find a perfect square root. So 10, 9, 9. Square root of 9 is 3 because 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, now I'm going to count up and try and find another perfect square root. I want to find out what is this in between? What two numbers does it fall between? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 has a perfect square root, and the square root of 16 is a 4. So what that means is the square root of 10 is in between these two numbers, so that means the answer is in between a 3 and a 4. Now, it's probably 3.1, 3.2, 3.8, it's a 3 point something. I know that 10 is really, really close to 9, so I know it's not going to be right in the middle of 3.5. It's going to be 3 maybe a 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to times that by itself. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. Well, I wonder what 3.1 times 3.1 is. Let's try it out. 3.1 times 3.1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3, placeholder. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Add them together. And you get 9.61. That's pretty close to a 10. We might be able to be a little bit closer. Instead of 3.1, let's try 3.2. 3.2 times 3.2. And that is 10.24. Now that went over the 10. So which one is closer? This one is about, let me see, 60, about 39, right? 0.39 away. And this one is 0.24 away. So this one would be closer. This is the better answer. So to estimate this is, it's a roundabout. That means approximately. It's kind of like an equal sign, but it's wavy. So it means it's a roundabout 3.2. And that would be the answer. Okay, let's try another one. The square root of 15. Well, that is not a perfect square root, but we can figure out what it's close to. 15, 16. Oh, there's the 16 again. 16, the square root of 16 is a 4. And if I'm counting down, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 9. Square root of 9 is a 3. Notice that these are always consecutive numbers. They're always in order. So this falls right in between it. Now 15 is closer to 16. So that means it will be a 3 point something. It's probably going to be closer to a 4. So I wonder if it's 3.8. Okay, so let's try 3.8 times 3.8. I got to do my math right now. I could use a calculator, but my phone is recording right now. All right, and we get 14.44. That's really, really close. It's not 15 though, so I wonder if we could go a little bit higher. Let's try 3.9. All right, 3 times 9 is 27 plus 8. It's early in the morning, so my brain is not on yet. 27 plus 8 is 35. Hopefully I'm not making any mistakes right now. Okay, and we get 15.21. This one is 36 away, 21 away. So that one is closer. So 3.9 would be the answer. So the square root of 15 is about 3.9. Okay, let's do another one. Square root of 67. Well, I already know this is really close to the square root of 64, and 64 works. So I know 64 will be on that side. I wonder what that number is. Well, the square root of 64 is an 8. Now just count up. 8, 9, 10, 9. 8 times 8 is 64. 9 times 9 is 81. So this number falls in between those. Now this one is very close to that. So it's not going to be 8.5 right in the middle. It's going to be closer to the 8. So maybe 8.2. Let's try. 8.2 times 8.2. And you can use a calculator when you're doing this part. Ooh, we got 67.24. That is pretty close. I'm going to go with that answer. It's going to be around about 8.2. Okay, and then the last problem. Let's do the square root of 27. Well, what perfect square root is that close to? 25. So it's going to be around a 25. Okay, well, the square root of 25 is 5. Now just count up. 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be a 6. That's how you can find that one, because otherwise you'd be counting up a lot from here. 5 times 5 is 25. That means 6 times 6 is 36. And this falls in between these two perfect square roots. Now, is it closer to that one or this one? It's closer to this one. So it's going to be closer to the 5, not the 6. So maybe a 5.1 or a 5.2. Let's try 5.1. We got 26.01. It's a little bit far away from a 27. Let's try 5.2. Ooh, that was really close. That was 27.04. That would be the answer. So the estimate answer of 27, it's about 5.2, because 5.2 times 5.2 is really close to 27.